Can everyone hear me? All right. Good morning and welcome to the June Business Lunch and Talk. Julie is unable to join us this morning for some reason, but we want to thank everyone for joining and want to thank CCOM for being our sponsor for the Business Lunch and Talk that keep the La Junta Chamber of Commerce connected. I'm going to invite Greg Coleman to join, the chamber president, if he is on. Greg. Okay. Greg is not here with us. Would Kevin Brandon, CEO of CCOM and Southeast Carter Power, like to come on and talk?
Okay, yeah, thank you. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I haven't been a part of one of these, so not sure. I guess I was gonna I'll start out with a little bit of a intro on myself. I started with Southeast Colorado Power back in 2001 as a network engineer for CCOM, but CCOM was still just a division of Southeast at that time, and was really small. There was 2 inside people and 2 outside people at that time, and now CCOM has grown to about 60 employees. So anyway, started as a network engineer on that side, was really involved right at that time was when we were installing fiber to most of all the local government entities throughout the service territory as part of the Beanpole project at that time, and spent a few years doing that type of thing for CCOM, and there really wasn't a lot of IT help on the Southeast side of things, and there were a lot of projects that kind of kept getting thrown my way, and after a while I kind of made the transition to actually move over onto the Southeast Power side, but was always involved in the IT side of things, and still did some support for CCOM, and over the years just kept working my way up, and ended up as chief technology officer over both companies, and through some personnel changes took on some other functions, added chief member services officer to that, and kind of carried some dual roles for a while, and up to the point where was actually named as CEO at the end of March. So that's a little about me, and then just some things I guess that SECPA and CCOM have going on, and some exciting things. This next week is our annual charity golf classic, July 8th and 9th. This will be the 35th anniversary for the event, and we've kind of added up and looked at what we've done over those 35 years, and we've donated over $250,000 in that amount of time to local charitable organizations over the years, so we're pretty proud of that. This year we've got 15 men's teams and 9 women's teams registered to compete, so that'll kind of take a lot of time next week that we're working on. Another thing that's potentially exciting, I guess we're waiting to see, but SECPA has applied for a pretty large grant through it's actually through USDA. It's called the Reconnect program, and for a fiber to the home project, and so Southeast did actually apply for that, even though CCOM would operate it. But the way this grant is structured, rural electric utilities actually received more points in their scoring criteria. So Southeast would own this and CCOM would operate it. But this project, if we were to get it, would be about a $22 million project. And we anticipate it would take 4 to 5 years to complete. And it would connect fiber to the home to around 2,000, I think maybe closer to 2,200 residences in mostly of Crowley County and Bent counties. And the reason for the selection on there is, again, kind of the criteria and the scoring of that. Those areas were deemed the most unserved and had the highest point value. So anyway, we should know at any time on that, but that'd be a really large project and connect a lot of people in the area. So we're kind of hoping on that. If we don't receive that grant, with the infrastructure bills that have recently been passed, there are lots of other broadband funding opportunities coming down the road that we're looking at those. Aside from broadband funding, there's also going to be a lot of money for beneficial electrification. A lot of things ranging from adding charging stations to electric school buses are kind of things that there's going to be a lot of grant money that too. So other than that, and just our normal day-to-day operations, both companies have a pretty busy schedule the next couple of months here. We're coming into fair season, and so we do a lot of sponsorships at the fairs around and participate in donating to all the junior livestock sales and that kind of thing. So we're gearing up to to participate in a lot of that. That's kind of what we've got going on.
Is there any questions for Kevin? We're excited to have him at the fair, and thank you for always helping out and sponsoring, as CCOM and Southeast Colorado Power Association do a lot for our community, and we appreciate that. Is there any questions?
This is Julie Timmery.
Julie's on. Hi, Julie.
I'm wondering what the employee force is out at CCOM and Southeast Colorado Power.
So CCOM has varied a little bit over the years. Kind of at our peak, we got to about 70. We're down, roughly 60 employees right now on the CCOM side, and really a lot of that is due to we did sell off one of the areas we had bought, a company called DD Wireless that had a lot of territory up in the West Cliff area. And after serving that for a few years, we just kind of really felt that was such a different territory than the rest of the area that we served, and it just didn't fit the rest of our operations as well. So we did sell off that portion and lost a few employees in that. So right now we're sitting at about 60 on CCOM, and Southeast just year after year seems to stay really consistent at about 50, and that's where we're at right now.
Okay. Are you having a tough time filling positions that you have open?
Not really. I mean, we get a lot of applicants. Probably what we are struggling the most with is actually journeyman linemen. There is a lot of push right now with journeyman, even though the wage scales that those guys make down here is excellent for the area. They can still make much more if they decide they want to go out on the road contracting. Yeah. Lost a few to some contracting crews, and to replace those, if we advertise for an apprentice, we get literally like probably 100 responses or applicants, but to get a journeyman has gotten a little hard because it's not just us losing them to contractors. It's kind of an industry-wide thing. So that's probably the only one that we have a hard time filling. Like if we open a position for like a member services rep, the last one of those that I saw, I think we had probably 40 to 50 applicants for that, and a lot of.
Okay. Now, can the young people go to any school to learn the trades, or is there one specifically that CCOM pulls from if they go to lineman school?
There's one in Grand Junction that a lot of people seem to like that one and go to that one. And then during when school's out, they have they call it hotline school that's held over there at where they have the facilities and things that is not actually, for like students. I mean, we send people there as instructors and as students. There's people from all over the country that go to that. And that's not, that's just like a 2-week school where you can kind of brush up on certain things. You can take whatever classes you want. But if they want to actually enroll in that, it is, I believe, a 2-year program where they would come out still as an apprentice, but with quite a few hours. For a while there was one in Trinidad. I don't believe that one is still operational. And aside from that, you don't absolutely have to attend a school. I mean, we have hired several people that have zero experience, and they start out at the first level of being an apprentice, and we teach them the whole way up. So that is a possibility too.
Well, gosh, that's interesting. So thank you very much for being on.
You
If
bet.
there's no
Thank you
other
for the
questions,
invite.
I don't have any other.
Greg is on, so I'm gonna let Greg jump on real quick and talk about items happening here at the Lahana Chamber of Commerce. Greg?
Great.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yes,
You're welcome.
sorry, I was a tad late jumping on. As always, thank you to CCOM for being connected in the chamber and everything you do for the chamber. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much. Lots of things happening at the chamber. We have an event tonight, a business after hours at a new business here in Lahana, CBD. It's at the old Racines location there on Santa Fe. We're very excited to welcome that business to our community and encourage everyone to come down. It starts at 5. We're going to have a ribbon cutting at 4:30, and then the business after hours will start at 5. So welcome them to our community. I think we've got Dave Hill on here who will talk later. We've got another about a business after hours in July at the Old Turum Museum. So we're really excited that they're participating, and they've got a really exciting exhibition, and I'm sure Dave will talk a little bit about that. So those several business after hours coming up, and what would welcome and encourage everyone to attend. We are doing the 4th of July parade. It'll be on the 4th of July. We'll start at 10, usual routine. We'll line up at 2nd and Santa Fe. Lineup will go west on 2nd. The dry zone will be 2nd Street between Santa Fe and Colorado. Then when we make the turn onto Colorado and proceed south, we'll go south on Colorado. That's always a free-for-all. And then we turn on 5th Street going west, then turn back onto Santa Fe going north, come down Santa Fe. That's another free-for-all, and we'll do that twice. So anyone and everyone is welcome to participate in that event and activity. And we're looking forward to that. We are in the process of finalizing some details about some business workshops for small businesses and small entrepreneurs, which will be free to the community. And we'll have those details ironed out and out to the community between mid and late July. But that's a program that we're really excited to bring to the community. And we're looking forward to that opportunity. We are really excited to be participating in the Arkansas Valley Fair, which will be August 15th through the 21st. Will be the 145th running of the fair. It's the longest running fair in the state of Colorado. The Lahana Chamber of Commerce will have a booth. We'll participate in the parade, and we will participate in the 4-H livestock sale. A lot of times this event gets labeled as a Rocky Ford event, and Rocky Ford hosts it, and they've done it beautifully, and they continue to do it a great job. But it really is a celebration of the Arkansas Valley and agriculture in the Arkansas Valley and what the Arkansas Valley has to offer. And so as a Chamber of Commerce, we're happy to support that fair and participate in it, and we're looking very, very much forward to it. It seems like no chamber talk or presentation is not complete without talking about Early Settlers Day. Early Settlers Day planning is underway and is going. We're set for September 10th. We'll have the parade. We're hoping for a few additional activities that are outside of the norm. Hopefully we'll be able to lock those down and maybe announce them at the June BLT. As I've said before, the one thing we are changing, the nighttime band in the beer garden is going to be downtown in the Santa Fe Plaza, and we're excited about that change, and we're excited to see how that hopefully positively impacts our event. And so the next thing I want to just and Early Settlers Day also, we will be hosting the class of 1967 from La High School. Will be having their 55th reunion based around Early Settlers Day. And then the following weekend, September 16th through the 18th, there will be a joint class reunion, classes of 81 through 87 from Lahana. We're going to have a joint reunion. I'm part of that class. So they'll be having a joint reunion. That is also Lahana Homecoming on Friday night. And then the Lahana Hall of Fame banquet is on Saturday night, the 17th. So there'll be a dinners and dance and things like that. But those are two big activities, Early Settlers Day, and then that following weekend with that class reunion. So that brings us to the July BLT, which we're super, super excited to host. Another in-person event. You can get your tickets at the chamber, $20. And Deb, I know we have Deb Brown on here, and she's going to talk a little bit about her background, but we're super happy to be able to host her and have her share some of her knowledge and experience about rural economic development. But another thing that we're really, really excited about her coming to our community, and what we're excited about being able to do the day before, is we're going to host an agritourism workshop. We're going to do that at the college, and we've outreached to surrounding communities and surrounding chambers. We've got a really good response, that's $10. Timmery or Julie, jump in here if I'm misstating this. It's a $10 ticket price for that, and that will include a meal. Is that right, Timmery?
No, it will not include a meal.
Okay, I'm sorry, no meal, but an opportunity to learn about agritourism. And that's something as a chamber we've kind of dialed in on a little bit as a way to expand tourism and to help really one of our mainstay industries, agriculture. So we're excited. We're excited about all these things, but we're really super excited about that day and that BLT with Deb coming to talk. So that's what we got going on in the chamber. Always trying to do the best we can. So happy to answer any questions or receive feedback.
Greg, the agritourism workshop will be held Wednesday, the 27th, I think.
I think that's
from 1 to 4 at the Student Center at the college.
Okay, thank you, Julie. Yes.
And we'll hear from Deb in a little while in the BLT.
Yeah. So we got a lot going on. Appreciate everybody joining us. Thank you.
Okay, so now we are ready for Ken Hood, our Otero County Assessor, and tell us what happens in your office, Ken.
Thank you for letting me be a part of this today. I really appreciate it. As most of you probably know, I'm your friendly county assessor that's in charge of putting a value on all the property in Otero County. We've got an office that's staffed with a total of 6 people, including myself, and we split the jobs up accordingly. I've been in the office for 25 years, and this is my 20th year as the county assessor. one of the things that I'd like to visit with you about is what's been happening mostly from a legislative standpoint that affects how we do our job and ultimately affects all the entities within the county. Last year in 2021, retroactively, the legislature decided that all personal property with a value of $50,000 or less would now become exempt. But the state would backfill all the entities so that nobody got injured from a financial standpoint. And that will continue until the state decides that they don't have enough money to keep that program in place, and then everything will revert back to the way it was previously. Also so then this year in 2022, one of the first things that happened is they decided that all mobile homes that have a value of $28,000 or less will now become exempt. We're in the process of learning how to administer that, all the ins and outs. The Division of Property Taxation is in charge of coming up with the logistics of how we're going to do that. There's going to be no backfill for that, so that's just a loss of revenue to everybody. But there's been an issue with very low value mobile homes with the taxes not getting paid on those, and they go to tax sale and nobody wants them, so they become county held certificates. And so this is they're trying to clean up part of that, I guess. Also, last year 2020 for this year 2022, this is an intervening year from a valuation standpoint. Next year will be a revaluation year. We'll revalue all the property in the county next year. But this year, being an intervening year, generally values stay the same unless you did a remodel, added square footage, that kind of thing. But this year, the values are going to stay the same. However, they changed the assessment rates, which means that your tax bill on a residential property is going to go down. They changed it from, it used to be 7.19%, the assessment rate on residential property, and they changed it down to 6.95%, unless you're a townhome, a duplex, a triplex, or an apartment building, and they changed it down to 6.8%. Commercial properties stayed at 29%. However, agricultural properties went down to 26.4%. So we're going to see some fluctuation in your 2022 tax bill payable in 2023, just due to the changes in assessment rate. Then we got to the legislative session of 2022 for 2023 and possibly 2024. And the legislature decided to change things again from the assessment rate standpoint. And now, like all vacant land is going to be 27.9%. All commercial property is going to be 27.9%. Personal property is going to be 27.9%, except for renewable energy, which is going to go down to 26.4%. Residential properties are going to go down to 6.765%. So we're going to see so some more decrease. Agricultural properties are going to stay at 26.4%. And in addition to that, after we come up with a value for 2023, all residential property, we have to take $15,000 off of the top. So everybody's going to have a decrease. All commercial property is we have to take $30,000 off the top. But we can't go below what they say, $1,000 assessed for each residential and commercial property. But that's only going to be for the 2023 tax year payable in 2024. So in 2024, all that decrease goes away, and 2024 is going to be an intervening year. So all your values are going to go up from a taxable standpoint and from a valuation standpoint because of the $15,000 and $30,000 deal. So all your values are going to go up in an intervening year, which is completely odd, strange, and pretty hard to track from our standpoint. So things ever since they repealed Gallagher, the legislature has got their fingers in the pie, and they just do things at a whim, and we're the ones that have to figure out how it all is going to work and come up and make sure the money's all good. I will say that that the decrease in the assessment rate and the decrease of the 15,000 and the 30,000, they're supposed to backfill that for a year. And it's only a year program. So the legislature said, well, we're going to backfill that, but it depends on county population. It looks like Otero County is less than 300,000 county population. So for 2023, if our total increase from 2022 was less than 10%, if our total valuation increase, they'll give us 100% backfill. And if we go up over 10%, they're only going to backfill 90%. Right now, on residential properties, we're looking at a sizable increase. I can't give you any percentage details because we haven't. Today's the last day of the collection period for valuation of properties for 2023, so we haven't really dug into that. But just from the sales that have gone on in the last 18 months, we're going to see a sizable increase in values of properties throughout the county. Do you have any questions?
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Hood? Sounds very complicated to me, Ken, and we appreciate what you do in the assessor's office.
Julie, there was a question. Sorry.
Okay.
Just had a quick question. Ken, were those decreases because of being considered like COVID relief or something from the state, or what was driving that? The decreases last year were aimed at COVID related, mainly the personal property and then the apartments and all of that. They were trying to give those people a break. This year, it looks to me like that's election year. So, you know, right now, we're just trying to follow the bouncing ball, really. And I'm pretty sure that next year, they're going to add more things that can confuse us and cause us problems. So, but
Anyway, it's all math. We have to do the job. We're required by state statute to do it, and we try and do it in the most efficient, equitable, and fair way to do it. And we try to stay on the low side of being in compliance. We'll put it that way. We're not trying to gouge anybody. We're trying just to make it fair for everybody.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Ken,
You're
for being
welcome.
with us.
Yeah, thank you for
And
having
now
me.
we have Cynthia Neeb, she wears several different hats. She's the Director of Urban Renewal, Economic Development, CLG, and the La Junta Rise. So Cynthia, you want to take it away and share a little bit about just what you do? You're muted.
Unmuting there. Thank you.
There
I'm
you
gonna
go.
try. I'm just coming off of COVID, so if my voice goes, I apologize right now. Hopefully I can make it through these few minutes without having it go. So I'm just going to give you some highlights from June. What Julie said is basically all the hats that I wear, and I'm going to go through those hats for what's happened in June. Urban Renewal right now is in the midst of work sessions to set policies and procedures that are going to meet our goals over the next 2 to 5 years. So we're having another meeting. I haven't sent out the meeting invitation yet, but it's going to be during our regular meeting time. Just to figure out again exactly how monies will be spent and what sorts of things that we're going to focus on for the next 2 to 5 years. We've also, for Urban Renewal, updated the bylaws. Thank heavens we have an attorney who is actually on our board, and he has updated them so that they reflect the state statute. The 2011 bylaws did not reflect the statute. So we corrected that, and we'll be bringing that before City Council soon. The Certified Local Government, which is basically your Historic Preservation Commission for the city, just finalized the Downtown Historic survey that's huge. I mean, it's huge. It basically gives the history, both of the social history as well as the built history of downtown La Junta. And I'd be happy to share that with anybody and everybody. It will probably be going up on let's see, it's chooselj.com in a couple of weeks. It takes me some time to get it uploaded, but I want everybody to be able to see that. It's wonderful to see this history. We have a very diverse ethnic history that I don't think has necessarily been discussed very much in the past. And this traces it from Syria and from Japan, and you name it, we got it. So it's very exciting. Then initially, Julie asked me to talk about Main Street Open for Business. I don't know if everybody knows about that particular grant, but it was offered by the Main Street, Colorado Main Street and Department of Local Affairs starting on October 15th of last year. The grant application process was before that. 6 of our commercial buildings downtown received the monies for that, which in total it was about, with the cash match, $491,000. This is the last day for people to put the cherry on top for their projects. Everything looks good so far. I've turned in some of the preliminary paperwork, and they say that we are rock stars. But I would like you to see some of the promotional materials that are going out. One of them, and Timmery, do you have that up? She's doing it. It's a video. I want you to see this. It's kind of nice. Do you want me to put it up, Timmery? You'll have to share your screen, and I'll have to get out of this. Let's see. No. Let's see. Did you share? I can't tell. Okay, share screen.
You're muted, Timmery.
Yeah. It says you're. you
There's not, it
disabled
says
them.
there's not enough permission to share this.
Okay. Oh, you can't show the video?
It says the permission is from the video, your video.
Okay, then why don't you share the screen?
Hold on. I clicked on it to share it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go,
Can you see now? Can everybody see this? No, it says you've disabled it. So I'll put this up for everybody. I'll put it up on Facebook and share it also, or maybe later Tim Marie can share it. But basically, it's a very, very nice about 3-minute video featuring La Junta. So that was made by Main Street, open for business. Maybe if you can get that going later on, Tim Marie, we might be able to see that. Moving forward, I spent a few days up in Wyoming at a board retreat with the Gates Family Foundation board. It was from June 12th through the 15th. Just so you know, it was paid for by the Gates Family Foundation and a Main Street scholarship. This was of no cost to the city of La Junta. Let me tell you who was there and why it was so helpful. The state demographer, Elizabeth Garner, was there. She shared information that I thought was very interesting. This is distilling down to one sentence. But she said that by next year, those who are 65 and older will be the dominant demographic group and will outweigh those who are under 18. I know, I'm there too. But it is of some concern and agritourism and all the rest of it. We've got to really activate the senior citizens so that we can keep up with our business. I think that that's a pretty good message there. Tammy Delaney from Hayden was there. She turned a silo into a coffee shop and a community center, and she's gotten lots of good Gates community, Gates Family Foundation money, as well as State Historical Fund. Very interesting person from the First Southwest Community Fund, Azrael Madrigal. She's their executive director. She gives loans, grants, technical assistance. She's bilingual, from Alamosa. She focuses on the BIPOC community as well as rural women entrepreneurs. She's already started working with 3 people here from La Junta. Okay, let me just finish this shot. That's good. Okay, before we start, let me finish this sentence. Okay, she's also on the board of Startup Colorado, and she's going to come here and either do virtual or actually do a convening if she sees a demand or a need for her support. She's a dynamic person. We need to get her on our board. She can bring more money for small businesses into this community. And the last person was Aaron McIntyre and Mike Higgins. Those 2 people, they're married. They run the Ouray County Plain Dealer newspaper. And actually, Christian Burney, who used to live here, reports for them. They purchased it just a couple of years ago, young couple. And what they were really pushing was investigative reporting, the kind of reporting that used to exist, and give local information to folks. And let me tell you what I learned there, and then we can see the video and we'll get into La Junta Rise at the end. What did I learn? I got to see the foundation from behind the curtain, which to see what happens, how they make decisions is invaluable for looking for future grants for anyone. And what I saw was that they're honorable people and they want to make a difference and care, and all of them are exceptionally intelligent. They understood what's happening in rural areas. In fact, while I was there, they took a vote. I was a little scared. So were all the other rural area people who were in the room, who were guests. They voted to continue strong support for rural areas. And it was unanimous, which is very good for all of us. They did say, though, that they would recommend what made their heart sort of sing was projects that have a regional focus, not just focused on one particular group in one little town, but that help a region, that have visible community support and need. So you have to have people who will speak up and support things, not wait. You can't wait for somebody to do something for you. You've got to be part of the mix that makes it happen. They also actually called me out for the way I write grants. They seem to like it. They said that I was very good at leveraging other funds with their funds to get projects done. And it also, whatever the project is, it has to be creative, dynamic, and design. It has to improve something. It can't be the same old, same old. So, Kim Marie, I think you're ready for this. We're back to Main Street open for business. Hit it, girl.
La Junta's over in southeast Colorado, and what I would like to call the Valley of Opportunity. It's a small college town, laid back, tight-knit, very peaceful area.
We have new entrepreneurs. We have people that from out of town that have bought the buildings, that have been fixing them up. And there's a program called Main Street Open for Business that really has helped. And I've been doing government for 40 years, and I've never seen a program like the Main Street Open for Business program where it helped the private sector. It helped us replace roofs. It helped us get the exterior walls of some of our buildings re-point and tucked. Those are true saviors of those historic buildings. They had freed up, just like with our Fox Theater, where he was able to not just work on his roof and exterior, but completely redo the interior of this historic theater and make it a viable part of our community. The city of La Junta, when we first started in on what we wanted to do to change our downtown, we wanted to become a Main Street program, because what that enabled us to do is say, okay, let's preserve the historic value of these buildings through historic preservation, but let's give them the ability to rework the insides.
We've almost touched every part of this building so far, and this grant really allowed us to complete so much more. Long term, we want this building to actually be one of the best buildings in La Junta, because we've got apartments above, we've got businesses below, so it's got a lot of opportunity, and we want to try and set a bar for the area to keep everybody at that level. We're the face of the community, so that's prime. I mean, if this building looks bad, the community looks bad. The level and degree of the grant that gave us the ability to succeed is just tremendous. And the snowball effect is going to happen for years. I mean, I can't even predict how big of an outcome it's going to have just from this grant. It breathed life back into this building. Items aside, you know, our morale was low. This building's so old, needed so much work. Upon renovating parts of the building, we've got tremendous feedback. And you know, it touches right here because it's so strong.
Downtowns need Main Street open for business. Please, state of Colorado, help us through programs like that. Help the private businesses not only survive during these times, but thrive during these times, and we'll all make it.
Thank you, Cynthia,
Oh, I'm not done.
very much.
But I wanted to show you that. I just want to bring up one last thing. That La Junta Rise. We recently had a strategic plan, two board meetings for that. Where, just so you know what it is, it's a combined Colorado Creative Main Street District. So it's Main Street plus the Creative District. There's only two other places, or three in Colorado that have that as well, because there's such a good fit. So we worked on our brand new 5-year strategic plan. I will release that. I just have to tweak a couple more things. They just gave it to me yesterday. But one of the things that we talked about was to increase and update civic spaces. And one of the other items that sort of emerged out of that was that people wanted to have. Does anybody know what that is? No, okay. A destination multimodal center. Okay. And I did not apply for this, so I can't take credit for it. But on June 22nd, we received a notification of an award from the Multimodal Transportation and Mitigation Options Fund for $525,000 for a plan for that multimodal center. So
Oh, that's great.
it's just the beginning of it. And as I said, I can't take credit for it. I didn't do it. You know, it just seems like everything is coming together. Last point, and I'll be quiet, which is a good thing because my voice is going. I've been trying to gather a creative inventory. That is an inventory of all the people who are creatives in this city. Okay. For the past month, I have gotten some responses. I got 100 responses, but I need more because I know there are more people. Please reach out to me. I'm at Cynthia.nieb, no fancy spelling for Cynthia, CYNTHIA.nieb at La Junta, Colorado, all spelled out, .org. And just send me your name, your approximate age. You don't have to give me your real age if you don't want to, but approximate, so ish, and then your email so that I can get a hold of you to talk to you about opportunities and also what you do. Do you play the oboe? Do you, tap dance? Are you a leather worker? What kinds of stuff do you do? Are you a producer? Whatever you do. So that's all I have for right now.
Thanks, Cynthia.
Thank you.
So it's creative, get a hold of Cynthia. Give her your name and what you do. Okay, I don't know. Is Ryan Phillips from Otero College on? I don't see him. So we'll move on to Dave Hill, who's here with the Otero Museum. He's a board member and he's going to tell us a little bit about the museum. So go ahead, Dave.
Well, Julie lied to us all, or lied to me anyway. She said this was going to be easy, and I came down here to be with Timra on this thing, and thank God I did, because she's clicking more buttons than I've even seen. But at any rate, I guess I'm here. So the Otero Museum is open for the season. We'll be open Monday through Friday from 1 to 5 in the afternoon. And we're excited. The girls have been working all winter long, the rearranging, labeling, writing narratives on exhibits. It's really, really fascinating. If you haven't been for a while, or you have never been, you need to come to the museum and check it out, because it's really interesting. We're really excited. As Greg mentioned earlier, we're hosting Business After Hours the 15th of July. And the reason doing so is that we have received a contribution from the Benton County chapter of the Santa Fe Trail Association of some photographs that were taken by Ron Dooley or whatever. And he's an accomplished photographer from the Denver area that passed away. And these are pictures of the Santa Fe Trail, and they are just phenomenal. They've made a really neat exhibit. So that's one of the reasons we're hosting the Business After Hours. The other is that we have on loan from the National Santa Fe Trail Association, the 200-year timeline display that they had for their symposium. And it is really impressive. It is something to see. So we're looking forward to that Business After Hours celebration. We want to invite everybody that would like to come, especially, not only the usual members that come to Business After Hours, but the public, anybody that would like to come. We're also excited. We just got new brochures. I don't know how we've come in on getting them printed up. We're real close anyway on getting that, which is exciting news. Other things about the museum, we're always looking for volunteers. Anybody that would be interested in being guides, even temporary guides, would be most helpful. Our regular guides can't be there all the time, so it'd be nice to have people that would fill in. And the other thing about it is if you have visitors in town, please encourage them to come to the museum. We need people to come and look at us. And it's interesting. It shows a lot about what happened in Otero County, La Junta in particular. The other thing, last and not least, I guess, is that we had taken a kind of a hiatus on our chuck wagon dinner because of COVID. But this year we're scheduled to have the chuck wagon dinner again, October the 8th, which is the same weekend as a Tarantula Fest. But Angela is also on our board, so we're working real closely with trying to mix that all together. So you can go see Spiders by day and come and eat chuck wagon dinner with us in the evening. So with that, that's about all I've got to offer. Are there any other questions or?
Admission to the museum is free, correct, Dave?
No, we've gone to a $5.
Oh, okay.
And I think kids are free, but $5 admission is kind of the standard thing there.
Okay.
I don't.
So any other
usually-
questions for Dave about the museum?
No, I'm just gonna make a statement real quick, Julie. I don't usually jump in, but this is an organization that is very dear and near to my heart. It does, it is a unique, it has got, if you haven't been there or you haven't taken anybody that comes to La Junta there, you need to, because it has such a unique collection of history and artifacts. It does a magnificent job of giving the history of where we as a community have been and what built this community. So that's my my soapbox editorial. Sorry, Julie.
Really,
That's okay.
I'd add a point of interest or whatever. You know, there's always neat stuff coming into the museum. Here lately, we had a woman that was cleaning out her in-laws' basement. She gave us a copy of the announcement of the bombing of Pearl Harbor from the local paper, and it wasn't the Tribune Democrat, and I can't tell you exactly what it was, but that was in there, and also the paper with the headline of Kennedy's assassination, which
Wow.
crazy stuff that you wouldn't think about saving, and she saved them and gave them to us. So that's two of the latest entries we have.
Very good. All right. Thanks, Dave. It didn't hurt as bad as you thought, right?
Well, I don't want to have to do it. I'm going to have to depend on Timmy for sure.
So now I see Ryan on there. Sorry about the mishap, Ryan, and getting to town. So Ryan's going to join us from Otero College, where he's the project manager and director of the new construction trades program. So you want to share a little bit with us, Ryan?
Yes, again, I apologize. Vehicle troubles on the way here for unknown amount of time, but anyhow, yeah, there's some really cool things happening, some really good things happening here at Otero College. We are adding the construction trades program. We should be up and going August. So I should be starting to get the final pieces put together and start allowing the registrations. I've already got students that are interested that I've spoke with. The construction program, it's going to allow students to have receive stackable certificates similar to what I've done with the welding program. Stackable certificates, so each semester they would complete a certificate. Our final intent is to actually get students out on a job site and working with local contractors, so that contractors have a pool of our students who are either ready to join the workforce, or they have that potential to kind of work beside them and see, and have that mentorship as well. Right now, the program is set up to include carpentry, plumbing and electrical. Basic and advanced, the curriculum that I'm using is a national known curriculum. So students will also receive not only their certificate of completion, but they will also receive their, it's called NCCER, the national curriculum is, and forgive me, I don't want to misspeak on what that acronym actually stands for, but it is a national curriculum that was put together by industry professionals and all the skilled trades. So they will also get their credentials on that. They'll receive a wallet card, laminated wallet card with their unique ID. so they can be looked up within a national database and see which skills and which credentials they do have, just making them that much more employable. Students will also receive some cost estimation, job site layout, some, light equipment courses, light construction equipment. And so we're really excited about the program and the shift that, the college is putting on some of the skilled trades. I think it's, me being in the industry, on the welding side, it's something that we need within the area and across the nation. There are just multiple jobs, and I've talked to numerous contractors, and the workforce just isn't out there with skilled labor. So we're really kind of shifting and, including some of these programs into the college.
So when does the program start, Ryan?
It should be August. Let's see, I'm looking at the calendar. August 22nd will be the first day of classes. And we're going to
So this
start
fall
with just a
semester.
small cohort. Yes, we will be up and going for the fall semester this coming year.
Okay, so how many will you be able to take in a cohort?
Each cohort, I'm looking at 6 to 8. I don't want to get too many students on a job site where there's not enough for them to do, and also trying to get the program built. Those numbers will expand. That's just kind of a starting point. I'm going to have new faculty members joining us as well. And so in itself, trying to come from industry and teach and things like that is, there's some challenges there as well. We are keeping the cohort kind of small to make sure everything is kind of in place, kind of in motion before we expand. We don't want to grow too fast.
Right, okay.
May I ask
That's
a
such a
question?
needed program. Does anybody have any questions for Ryan about this new program?
Cynthia does. Yeah.
Yes, I do. Ryan, hi, we've talked before.
Yes, ma'am.
A couple of questions, two actually. One is, how are you expanding? Where do you see, what different areas do you see that you will expand in the future? Like right now you're doing construction trades, which could be general,
Right.
okay? But where exactly that might go? And are you seeking any funding from EPA, brownfields, as well as EDA? Because there's money in both of those. I mean, lots of money, lots and lots of money. And it's right up your alley. And I've been trying to figure out who to talk to at Otero College to partner on this.
Sure. I wasn't familiar with those programs, so it's good to have that information. I would like to visit with you a little bit more on some of that potential funding. As
Good.
far as our service area, we're going to service the entire valley. So what we're looking at is servicing Lahana, Rocky Ford, Crowley, all down to Los Animas, the whole valley. And we don't have all the details, so I don't want to speak too freely on this at this point. But what our intent and goal is with the program is to take some of these rundown houses, some of the blighted housing in the communities, and use those as our classroom. There's some, legal issues that come with that as well. The college has to be the ownership of the property in order to do that. And then we would have to relinquish that property back to the original owner, plus the cost of materials and expenses, things like that. The labor, of course, isn't charged out. But we are planning on servicing the entire valley, as we get going. And with enough interest, there's enough contractors here as well. We would be looking to hire contractors to work with students as well on these job sites because of code and, again, all the different factors that come in. So we're not looking to replace our general contractors or even our, electricians and plumbers in the area. We're looking to provide them with the workforce while paying them for their services.
And
I don't know if
we
that
do
makes
need to
sense.
talk.
Very good.
Yeah, we need to talk about this because the thing is you're using the copper program, which somewhat restricts, what kinds of things you can work on. But the EPA, EDA, all these other programs might not. Where are you? You disappeared. It's 303-518-8261. Okay, give me a call.
Will you repeat that one for me?
You bet. 303-518-8261.
Okay. No, that sounds great. And, like I said, the first year, the curriculum, just kind of limits us to the carpentry, plumbing, and electrical. So to add to the second part of that question, we are looking to expand into some HVAC, some heating and cooling issues, in forms and foundations. There'll be a brief introduction into the forms and foundations, but also on the concrete, masonry, bricklaying. We're looking to expand into some of these other areas. We just needed to get the program kind of developed and then start expanding into some other areas.
Cool, thank you.
Well, thank you. From the foundation to the roof, right, Ryan?
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing with us. That's an exciting program. Gosh, we have a full day today. So we've got left Kimberly Gallegos from the library, and Deb Brown wants to say a few things about when she's going to be in town. So ladies, you have about 15 minutes to divide between you. So Kimberly, you want to go first and just share quickly?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to give a shout out to Ryan Phillips. This is great for our community. My husband is a plumber with Lyle & Sons Plumbing, and a few years ago he went to a meeting and the average age of a plumber was 50. That's not good. We need to be encouraging this generation coming up to invest in these areas, and we need these things for our community to thrive. So way to go, Otero College, and thank you, Ryan, for that. That's awesome. I just wanted to plug that we are about halfway through our summer reading program. I didn't check numbers today, but we may have hit 500 registrants. So that's 0 through adults. And so we are very excited about that. We've had great participation each week. This week marks our halfway point. So this is week, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of our 8-week program. And so we had our magician here this week. We've got lots more stuff. So if you don't have a summer reading program calendar, make sure you get one. If you yourself want to participate, or if you have children in your life that you'd like to participate, it is not too late. They can jump onto wml.readsquare.com and still take part in that. I do want to plug that we have a pretty exciting event next week, Tuesday, July 5th. I was hoping with this theme of Oceans of Possibilities that we could get the downtown aquarium in Denver involved somehow. We are way outside of their outreach area, and so they couldn't get somebody to come, but we are doing a live virtual visit. And I can't say exactly what we're giving away at this event, but people will not want to miss it. And so how this will work is we'll have a big screen set up on the patio. Our friends of the library just purchased us this new projector that I've already been using it, and it displays a beautiful picture, but it's supposed to work better outside. So we'll have that going, and we'll be on a live Zoom call with the downtown aquarium, and they are doing a session called Sensational Sharks. So you won't want to miss that.
Okay. So anything else quickly, Kimberly?
I do have one more thing real quick. We are now part of the Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. What this means is that children who are under the age of 5 can get signed up for this program. I put a link on our Facebook page. I think I have one also on our website. And if you see one of these QR codes, you can also scan that, and that'll take you to the place to get signed up. Doesn't matter if you've got 1 child or 10 children in the house under 5. Every child will receive a free book every month. And this is very important when we're promoting early literacy to our children. That age from birth through age 4, those are critical That's a critical time in a child's life. So they've got to have this exposure to books, and we take for granted that every home has books. And so yeah, they get to earn a book during our summer reading program, but what an amazing thing to be able through this program, be able to actually get something in the mail every month. And so if you would help us spread the word about that, that would be awesome. I've posted some things on our Facebook page, so you're welcome to share that if you need any. We've got lots of gosh, I lost the word. We've got like bookmarks and coasters and postcards. And I can say that I do know for a fact that Bank County is also doing this. So we are covering Otero County, and Bank County are also two counties that I know of, but there are counties all over Colorado that are doing this. So if you know, if you've got family members outside of those two counties, they can click on that QR code and find out availability in the state of Colorado. So you can call 384-4612 and talk to any of us if you have questions on that.
Thanks, Kimberly.
Thank you.
My grandkids have been involved in that program. It's fabulous.
Yes.
So, thank you. So now we're going to tie up the end of the BLT and hear briefly from Deb Brown, who's in Ohio, and she is Iowa. Sorry. She's going to tell us briefly what she's going to be talking about when she comes to La Junta on the last week in July. She'll be here. She'll do the agritourism workshop on Wednesday, and then she'll be the keynote speaker at the in-person BLT luncheon on Thursday, the 28th of July. So Deb, take us to the end of the hour.
Yes, and I have a comment for everybody, actually. My name is Deb Brown, and I'm co-founder of Savior.town. Thank you for inviting me today. It was fun hearing what's going on in another small town. Congratulations, Kevin, for bringing broadband to rural areas. I can't begin to talk about how important fiber is for those folks that don't have it. Gregory, you know, you're working pretty hard over there at the chamber, and you probably don't hear thank you often enough. So consider a thanks from me.
Thank you for that, but you can call me Greg. My mom calls me Ken. Thank you.
And Ken, the county assessor, how much fun were you to listen to? You kind of lost me halfway through because numbers aren't my game, but I'm really glad that your town has somebody really smart working there. So keep up the good work. Cynthia, I hope I get to meet you while I'm there. You do the kind of work I do, and I'd like to spend some time with you too. Dave at the museum. I was a history major in college, so thanks for continuing all that hard work. I have one suggestion. Could you not stay open later one night a week? Try it for a little bit for when people get off work. Maybe do 3 to 7 instead of 1 to 5. Just a shot. And I'm happy I will not be there for the Tarantula Fest. Sorry, definitely not my cup of tea. Ryan, don't forget about USDA funding, and make sure your students actually visit with people at the museum to learn about the different types of buildings and how that's changed over the years. I think that will be very helpful for them. Kimberly, keep up the good work. Awesome that you're participating with Dolly Parton. That's a rather big deal. She's doing amazing work and spending millions of her personal dollars on it. So I'm glad to hear you're participating. Timberly, just keep doing what you do. Yay, yay for you, okay? So I'm going to be talking at the BLT about the successful economic development without blowing the budget. So it's hard being an economic developer or someone that works at the chamber or someone that really cares about their community without thinking you have to have a whole lot of money to get things done. And I'm here to tell you, you don't. I'm going to be sharing stories of other communities, some of their tricks of working on a shoestring budget, and I'll encourage you to listen and then choose something you might be interested in. I think you'll enjoy it. It's how to save money while being effective on your job, and we all want that for sure. and come, because there will be a lot of examples from other communities. That's what we do, Becky and I, my partner. We share stories of successful communities. We listen to the things that you're looking for, and then we answer questions relative to almost everything rural, which leads me to the next thing I'll be doing is the agritourism workshop. This is fun. I've done agritourism work here in Iowa, in Missouri, and in North Carolina. And every state's different, and Colorado is different as well. You have ranching, good kind of foods to eat. How do you bring that all together? Your heritage, your on the farm, your ranch, your food-based stuff. How do you bring that all together where tourists can find that? And you can also create an additional income for yourselves. So we're going to work through some of the Colorado-based programs. We'll steal a little bit from them, and we're going to steal a little bit from Minnesota. And you're going to hear stories of places where it's worked. And I'll share some ideas of the things we did that worked. It's intended for folks interested in any kind of ag value added proposition, or that might be ranchers that need to bring in a little extra income. It might be a business downtown that wants to partner with them. I know some of the folks from Wiley are coming over because I've been doing a little bit of work with them, and I'm really looking forward to working with you guys. I wanted to give you some numbers here. Did you know in 2018, there were 86.2 million tourists that visited the state of Colorado? Isn't that crazy? In 2006, I love this, there were 4.1 million visitors that spent $807 million. Of that, half were about in-state visitors and the other half were out of state. I always think that that's interesting. You don't only want to appeal to the Australians and the Canadians and the New Yorkers. You definitely want to appeal to the people who live in Denver and that have kids that think that brown milk comes from a brown cow. That this is some of the things you want to educate on, where your food is coming from and how you can continue to have a good way of life. Now, is Chad Hart, he sits on one of the boards for the Colorado Agritourism Association. And
He does.
Yep, he does. So I hope I get to run into him, Julie.
Okay.
We'll send you off with a free 45-minute course on culinary agritourism. So you'll be able to take those home and share them with whoever you want to. And if you have an idea of something that you want to know more about in relation to agritourism, please send me an email. It's really simple. It's Deb, D-E-B, at saveyour.town. So it's SAVEYOUR.TOWN. And if you forget, tell Julie and she'll reach out.
Well, thank you, Deb. We look forward to you being here the end of July on the 27th on Wednesday for the agritourism workshop, and then the in-person luncheon on the 28th at the Senior Citizen Center.
It'll be a good time.
That kind of wraps us up. Does anybody have any questions for anybody that was on today, or you want to say anything?
Yeah, Julie, I just want to say, we've tried to, under this group of board members, Julie, Roberta Calkins Mendoza, Amy Grajeda, Matt McIntyre, Casey Garcia, and with Timmery coming on board, we've really worked hard to try to reshape the focus of the chamber into being more business oriented and what we can do for the chamber or what we can do for our chamber members. And I think this BLT was really focused on that. And you heard what the chamber's doing in terms of our workshops. We're bringing Deb in, what Ryan's doing at the college. We're focused on that. We're just trying to create economic opportunities and events for our area. So we appreciate everybody's help and support as we're moving forward in that endeavor.
Well, thank you, Greg, very much. Thanks for all of you joining us today, and hope to see you all in person on the 28th of June at the Senior Citizen Center for the BLT Grande Lunch.
Deb, look
Thank you.
forward to
Have a
seeing
great
you.
day.
All right.
The same.
All right. Bye.